Hi, cities. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim. Hope you are very great. This video is kind of disturbing, and I know why I said it's disturbing. You will find out yourself. Now, sometimes I ask myself, how did my people meet these people? Because this thing is beyond being. Anybody that can sit down, sit down, mount his camera to say all this to another person or other people. That is actually his heart. There is nothing anybody will tell me. We'll talk about how some people love animals but cannot help their neighbors. But now I am finding out that animals are better than some people in their own words. Animals are very beautiful. Animals are so cute and all that. But human beings are not cute in their own word. All right. And that really got me thinking. But then I also know the reason why they would rather give dog or rabbit food, drink, medications, right, than helping human being. The fact that some people actually do not know that welfare, that a certain group of people are the ones that benefit more, tells a whole lot. Calling people that look like me drug addict? Let's get into this video.
Hey everyone, this is to all the welfare queens and that think they're queens, but yeah, this is how we stop the welfare abuse, because the good people of the United States are sick of it. They're sick of you freeloaders, good for nothings, because you're just a waste of flesh. And you're just parasites. I don't even want to compare you to animals because you're worse than that. Animals have a function. Animals are beautiful. You people are just virus, parasitic creatures that should have probably never been born. Anyways, the way I would solve the problem of all you fraudulent little idiots, low IQ, waste of breath, is mandatory drug testing randomly. If you're caught on drugs, you get nothing. No smoking. Nothing that is a luxury or anything that you can live without. You will live in barracks, just like the military. If it's good enough for the military, it's damn well good enough for you. You will get fed what you're given, and you will have no choice in the matter. And it will be all healthy items. No chips, no soda. That way we can cut back on all your, medical bills and everything like that for all you obese, just whales. Whales, land whales. That's what you are. And it would be mandatory birth control also. No children while you are on the system. If you can't feed them, you're not going to breed them. And you're so lucky I am not in charge of this, because it would be like the military. And mandatory community service. You would wait on everybody else hand and foot, whatever needs to be done in the community. That is, a direct function of society. You're going to be of some use. And then that way, poverty will be a thing of the past, pretty much. I mean, there'll still be some people in poverty, but they're going to be the hardworking people that just fall on hard times or whatever. But it isn't going to be this generational, just sponging off of everybody else that's working and that have worked and are, good for society, unlike you. So yeah, you're just parasites. And I think parasites might even be better than what you are. Because the way you're going on and on and on about how you're going to rob people, you're going to kill people, you're going to, cannibalize white crackers. And if I could say the words that I want to say on these platforms, I would. but then I'll get banned and then I can't voice my opinion. But you people need to get a life. You need to get an IQ, which will never happen. And it's been generational. And the more you breed and breed, the less IQ you have. Because it's just bad IQ, breeding with bad IQ. And it just gets worse and worse as it goes on. So, yeah. You would not like the system that I have in mind. Not at all. So, everybody that's a decent person on the system, more power to you, really. And I feel for you. But most of you, you don't need it. And I know this for a fact because I have family members and neighbors that are on the system, and they do not need it at all. They're just leeches. Just pure leeches. So get a life, people. Get your shit under control. And stop feeding off of the rest of us. You know, and our hard work and our dollars that we put into the system that you never put into the system. So go get a life. Bye-bye. Freeloaders, good for nothings, because you're just a waste of flesh. And you're just parasites.
You need to watch that whole video because it is far worse than what you just witnessed. And if you follow me, you know what comes next. I did a little digging, but because I like to be 100% sure that I found the right person, I simply asked her. And she was kind enough to confirm making this video. As you can see down here below, Susan seems to think she's being doxxed. So she's trying to rally the troops. Help me get her back. Susan, sweetie, I'm going to need you to look up the definition of doxing. Doxing would entail me releasing your personal information, such as your phone number, your address, your neighbors' names, all of your family members' names, the picture of your house, all of which I have in my possession. And if I were to release any of that information, that, my dear, would be doxing. But public information, that is a horse of a completely different color. Hello, Susan Wendelkin. Now, I noticed on your LinkedIn, it says you're a dental office manager for a Dr. Anderson. And from your many, many aliases, I was able to determine that you're married to someone with the last name of Anderson. Why would one person need so many aliases, Susan? We'll get into that later if I need to. See, by you working in a dental office, that concerned me greatly. Because if you're online spewing this kind of hateful venom, how are you treating the patient? And judging by the reviews, there seems to be one common denominator. And well, that's you, Susan. They've all come to the conclusion that you are rude and disrespectful. Judging by the behavior that you're exhibiting online, I'm going to have to agree with them, Susan. But what concerns me even more is the fact that that dentist accepts Medicaid and Medicare. And as everyone knows, most people that get Medicaid and Medicare are also on welfare. So it concerns me greatly, Susan. How are you treating those people when you find out that they're receiving Medicaid and Medicare? So I think we should find out. Now, I also found emails linking you to Globetrotter Property. Because it's Saturday, I can't find out just yet how you're affiliated with them. So alas, this will have to be continued Monday. And of course, everyone that follows me, you know I keep a couple aces up my sleeve. You don't just put it all on the table at once.
Hey everyone, this is to all the welfare queens.
Well, a friend alerted me to this specimen tonight, and I'm deeply troubled by what this person would say. And the facts are simple. You know, 70% of welfare recipients, or SNAP recipients, are children, the disabled, the elderly. Of the people that are not, 86% of them work. They can't find a job that will get them out of the above the 140th percent, don't quote me on that, poverty level. So they get food from us. And it costs me like $16 a year to pay for their food out of my pocket. And what truly bothers me is that pieces of people like this lady think they are better than children, than the elderly. And they go on this tirade. And what's worse is this thing probably thinks she's a Christian. Yet she's never read the Bible. And she spits in Jesus' face by saying things like this. The problem here is that people like her exist. They preach their hate, their filth, their misinformation. And they feel like they're better than children, that she's happily starving. Children, our grandparents, are disabled, and she's happy. She wants them to work because they get like $180 a month. And people like her are glad to destroy the American dream. They're glad to embrace the corruption that is prevalent in our society at this point. This is what is wrong with America. She would rather consume misinformation and project her hatred on her fellow Americans in order to pacify the oligarchy that has gripped our country by the throat. This is why we need to fight back. This is why we need to resist. And she is exemplary of what we need to resist against. This has to stop. We have to save our country.
And you're just parasites. I don't even want to compare you to animals because you're worse.
Do you know what some fucked up shit is? Is Tartar Sauce Tammy over here is mad because at maybe one point in time she got SNAP benefits and she doesn't get them anymore. The fact that other people, especially minority groups that are seeking help, she's pissed as fuck. And then she wants to talk about people who do not receive, let me say it again, do not receive SNAP benefits, Tartar Sauce Tammy, and claims that they do with no support to back her claim. Because you know Trump supporters, they're always in their fucking feelings. Because Cottage Cheese Kathy can't help the fact that people of color also benefit. And we know she was attacking the black community especially. But what she failed to realize is this right here was not directed towards black people, because I went to that page and that is a black person talking about you. You, bleach demon. You do know that you are an accident. Bing, God made. That you're only 8,000 years old and you are dying. You are a fucking dying race. Because God came back for just a moment and said, oh, my fucked up shit's here. I'll let the children deal with the children. Bitch, come get your daughter. Because we're sick and tired of telling you white supremacists that you are fucking dumb. We're sick and tired of telling you, you white supremacists over here, that you are an uneducated fool. This symbol indicates you are related to monkeys, chimpanzees, and apes. Not us. We're almost 300,000 years old, and your bitch asses have been related to these things forever. So Sour Cream Cassie, I really need you to get your shit together and do some more research and not me search. And leave black, brown, and indigenous people alone. And if somebody from another country comes here and wants to get state benefits, give them the fucking benefits. Because we know you're not a Christian. You will never be and never will. And trust me, honey, when you go meet the maker, your sky daddy, I just want to remind you that you will never see the light of heaven. Amen. But you will see the depths of hell. Enjoy the fucking ride while it's here. Because there is no amount of sorries for you opening your mouth, because God said that's a loose tongue. Will you ever get our forgiveness? So not only take your wreath of a family, because you don't have a fucking tree, but your lice-ridden self, and find a cliff and jump off it. Because at some point, your demise is coming closer every day.
Hey everyone, this is to all the welfare queens and that think they're queens. But yeah, this is how we stop the welfare abuse.
What do you mean by good people? Looks like someone didn't learn their lesson from the Toast Ladies saga.
Because The good people of the United States are sick of it. They're sick of you freeloaders, good for nothings, because you're just a waste of flesh. And you're just parasites. I don't even want to compare you to animals, because you're worse than that.
This is getting dangerously close to dehumanizing racist rhetoric.
Animals have a function. Animals are beautiful. You people are
Notice the use of you people.
just virus, parasitic creatures that should have probably never been born. Anyways, the way I would solve the problem of all you fraudulent little idiots, low IQ, waste of breath,
Sounds like someone's projecting.
is mandatory drug testing randomly. If you're caught on drugs, you get nothing.
And judging by the size of your pupils, you should be first up. Stop trying to rationalize letting people starve. It's not okay. And you're a bitch. Oh yeah, and from the sounds of it, extremely racist. I'm glad you think so, but you should go talk to Shelby. She will confirm for you that I am in fact a pain in the ass for racist white bitches. And not only do I think you're racist and kind of a cunt because you're willing to let people starve, but I guarantee you this shit right here never fucking happened. So you're lying to spread racist tropes.
But yeah, this is how we stop the welfare abuse.
Welfare abuse, really? Because I have a video of 40 white people that were arrested in a welfare fraud scheme. So I don't really know. I know you're talking to black people, so I just want to put that out there. And secondly, if we're working on stereotypes, how are we going to stop you from fucking your brother and having your father's children and letting your husband marry your daughter? See, stereotypes aren't nice and they aren't sweet. Now, you want to run around talking about welfare queens. Are you one? I'd like you to go outside and find one and save this little nonsense to her. But yeah, incestuous hillbilly, two can play that game.
Good for nothings, because you're just a waste of flesh. And
you are a very, very, very dangerous person because you are a violent person. Your heart is full of violence and darkness. I see that. And everybody, and I hope this goes viral, and I hope everybody sees it. I've already told my story about being homeless when I was 18 years old in the 80s in New York City by myself. I guess that the suffering that you have dealt with in your life, instead of taking that suffering and trying to make things better for others, you just hold on to it and make everybody else suffer. I am so tired of you white people. I am so tired of you. I'm tired of myself. Thinking you have all these conveniences and all these things. Maybe you don't have much, maybe you do. I don't know your life. I really don't care, to be honest with you. With that kind of heart that you have. You're a dangerous person. You're a violent person. You are cheering over people starving. How dare you? Clearly you've never dealt with that. Or if you have, you've hardened your heart to the suffering that you see around you. Especially if they don't look like you. And the thing is that, and I hope you go viral, the thing is that there's no way that you can be shamed. You're going to get all these stitches and people saying how they feel and yelling at you, and it will never change you. You will not change. It's very obvious. But from now on, your life is cursed. It is cursed because people will remember your words and they will be held against you. Maybe not in a court of law, but in the court of public opinion. And I am so here for it. I'm so tired of you. I'm tired of people like you. I'm tired of being like going through my life and dealing with people like you that I've had to deal with, that have no heart, no empathy, no care, no compassion, no understanding. I am so done with the way we live our lives in this society. I'm so done with people like you having any kind of power. So done. This is the time for anybody else watching this, because I know that most likely you're coming to this in complete outrage, like me. I want you to take this time and remember that this is the time, this is a great time to awaken to the idea of empathy. And on those of you who may be friends with this awful human being, you know better, and she's probably saying all these horrific things. And some of you might hold her to account, and some of you just, I don't know, for whatever reason, just go along to get along. Don't do that anymore. Don't be a bystander. Say something to her. Make her feel it. The consequences.
This is all I got from this video. Let me tell us something, because I mean, I've been in this space for a while, and I have been saying, I've been bringing different videos, and I absolutely know how racist are, especially, in fact, all of them, men and female. They are absolutely on their racism is out of hand. This administration came into power. Everything became really very bad. But you see, this period we are in today has really opened me up to a different phase, another phase entirely. And the phase it has exposed me to, it's something that I am really very scared of. I am scared in the sense that I feel like people do not regard people anymore. I understand that they do not like my people. That is something that I know. But the kind of videos that I am seeing, it's alarming. It needs to be checked. Because for me to mount my camera and sit down and say all these things to other people or people that I do not know well a lot, right? It might actually not be bait. It shows this is how you feel, because for you to put all these words together, it says a lot. Sometimes I want to tell Black people that I am really very scared for them, but then I don't want to say that. Why? Because I don't want to fearmonger anybody or try to make somebody feel scared or feel sad. I know you've been navigating through this, I mean, for decades, and maybe this one will not be, I don't know, maybe these ones are just probably not getting to you, or maybe, I don't know. But each time I open my phone, I am really not getting myself. And the fact that most of my videos are being done in the morning. I wake up, the first person, this is my early morning face, nothing more than that. I am in shock. I don't know if I will say I am in shock. I am tired of saying I am in shock, but it's kind of alarming on a very serious note. It is not okay. Now, let me tell us something. Each time we talk about pets, we talk about dogs, we talk about this and all that. Now, some certain things she said made a lot of sense. Why am I saying it made a lot of sense? It made a lot of sense because We are worse, my people are worse than animals and parasite, right? Because they do not feel that we are humans, they do not see us as human beings. That's why this person will give a dog or a cat food, but will not give a homeless person food. So, am I expecting someone that gives a dog food but will not give his neighbor food to like me? Am I rice or am I ice cream? Of course, I am not ice cream. So, why do I expect people to like me? In her words, animals are beautiful, right? But we are virus. When we talk of, see, I don't know how to explain this, but white people really need to do better for themselves. I am saying this with pure heart and clean heart. I do not have any negative vibe, but they really need to do a whole lot for themselves. Why am I saying this? I am saying this because majority of them are like the most ignorant people you can ever come across. It will not take you any time, anything. It won't take you much to read your book, right? The time she spent making this, showing us how she feels about my people, she can actually use it, type something in her, type something on Google and it will give her the answer. But she does not have the mental capacity to do it. So, what do you want me to do? What can I say? How do I let her understand that they are the ones that are more in welfare, that it is not my people? How do I tell her? How do I tell her that they do drugs more than my people? How do I tell her? See, there are some things you don't explain to people because they will never understand. They actually do not care from the first, they do not care in the first place. So how do you expect them to care now? And I am also not expecting them to care. But one thing I know is that when you are full of hatred, it is stopping you from so many things. If I ask her, how old are you? She might tell me she's 29 or 30 years. She might tell me she is 29 or 30 years, for instance, right? But she be looking like 50 years old person. Like vegetables, when you leave, spinach doesn't really spoil that quick. When you leave some vegetables or fruits overnight where you are not supposed to leave them and you come back and it's all gone. Yeah, that is how it is. I know we are waste of breath, but you cannot still do without those people. It's called jealousy and obsession. Because in a situation whereby you wake up every day and you want to talk to a certain group of people, it means you cannot do without them. And what would you have done if black people are not on this earth? How would you have survived? What would have been your major destiny? Because some of you are eating because of my people. So shut the hell up. Shut the hell up and enough of all this. Yesterday I was in my room. I was lying down after work and all that. And there is a comment. And if you are the person that dropped that comment, you can indicate. I think the person dropped a comment yesterday. The person said, "Can we ever get along?" And I wanted to write to him, I really do wish that we all can get along, but it's not possible. Why is it not possible? Because some people have made it impossible. Some people have this classism or this I am better than you. But man, on a very serious note, I am not going to lie to you guys. all this is sick. This is sick. I remember them asking, do black people go to bed thinking of them? No. No. Black people do not go to bed thinking of you. But you go to bed thinking of them and you wake up with them. Doing drug tests, go to your own community and start with a drug test. It will go a very long way. Go to your community, start with it. See, guys, I am really sorry, black people, that you wake up every day to this, because this is a very horrible energy. And if this is how but one thing I know for sure, if you sit down and have all this thing, and have all this mapped out for another person, this is actually who you are. There is nothing, even if heaven drops down, that will make me change my mind that this is not how you feel. How people feel about you will show from their words. There are some might pretend, but you cannot pretend for so long, because eventually it is a feeling. When you have a feeling for somebody, even when you are trying to contain it or control it, somehow, it just explodes, because that is exactly how you feel. Even when you try to press it down, the truth will eventually come out. It's just a matter of time. I cannot empathize with you enough, because some days I wake up and I am like, how? How do people sit down to do this kind of video? But then on the other side, it is the same people, my own people have been telling us for decades about, that we did not know. Unfortunately, I haven't been here for so much decades, but I am grateful that I am getting to understand. And I really also help that other people will also, they are already understanding, not even other, everybody's seeing what is going on. People are already seeing it. It's all over. People are being woke. And that is one of the most important things, that you will not have to tell people how you've been treated or how you feel, how you are. Because at some point, what you experience, one thing about this is that what you are experiencing now, they also spread it to other people, like Africans, Caribbeans, and the rest of us, and the rest of them. Go and ask Black Indians, or for example, the ones that think they are not Black, that has refused to acknowledge that they are Black, which I do not have a problem with. Whoever you said you are, that is, if you say your color is purple, that's great. So when they are spreading that, because they do not align with you, or they do not believe, or because they do not understand, it will spread to them too. So everybody will eventually wake up and fight for their rights. It's as simple as that. Sorry this video is getting so long. Bye for now.